are basically all the products that like I had to pull out of my purses to show with you guys, and that just shows you how much I love them. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to episode 2 of my Best of Beauty 2019 series. If you did not see my full drugstore video where I talked about all of the best drugstore makeup from 2019, I will have that link down below. Today we're going to be talking about all of my favorite high-end products of the year. Now, this does not necessarily mean that these things launched this year. These are either things that I discovered. A lot of them are new, however, so a lot of them did launch this year, but also some things, you know, I might have discovered last year, but I used them consistently through this year, so I'm going to share them again. I don't want to waste any time because I have a lot to talk about. So we're going to get right into it. I hope you guys are excited. Let's start off with the brows. I've talked about this product for so long, and I wanted to just kind of shout it out again because I used it all year long. I have other products to share with you after this. But the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil is one of my all-time favorite holy grail go-tos. It stays in my brows. It creates really nice hair-like strokes, which is something that I look for because I don't have too much brow hair. So I'm just going to quickly mention that because I know I've talked about it so much. The next brow pencil that I discovered this year that I love is the Causemetics Fine Liner Brow Pencil. I love the shape of this. It lasts beautifully through the brows, and again, you just get that really nice feathered brow effect. That's kind of what I was into the entire year. So I love this Causemetics pencil. A very similar pencil to the Causemetics is the Hourglass Arch Brow Micro Sculpting Pencil. Again, it has a very, very fine tip, and it kind of has an oval shape to it, so you get very natural looking brows, and it's so easy to draw on your brow hairs. I actually have this one in my brows today. For when I needed my brows to last through a travel day, I reached for this one. This is the Thrive Causemetics Infinity Waterproof Eyebrow Liner in the shade Audrey. This is amazing. It's waterproof, so it really does not budge, and that's something that I look for in a brow pencil. I cannot have it slipping and sliding on my face, otherwise I will not have brows if it disappears. So I love this one as well. And then I've been getting so much use out of the Hourglass brow gels. I've been using the clear one, and also I love the tinted ones. This one is in the shade Soft Brunette. I love both. I love the formulas of these. I also love my Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter, but again, I've mentioned that so many times I didn't want to put it in this video, but those are my go-to high-end brow products. I know there's kind of a lot, but I get sent a lot of makeup, and I get the opportunity to try so much makeup, you guys. So the fact that these stand out from the bunch really says something, and they are definitely my tried and true go-tos. I travel with these every time I go somewhere, so I had to mention those. All right, we're moving on to primer. I'm going to do a quick mention because this was also in my Best of 2018 video, but this is one of those things I used throughout the entire year this year. It's the BareMinerals Complexion Rescue Defense Primer. This has sunscreen in it. It's so wonderful for everyday looks. I love to use this underneath my BareMinerals products or any other foundation, but it's just a really good go-to everyday base for me because it protects me from the sun, and it also protects against blue light, I believe, which we always have screens in front of our face, so it's really good to protect against that as well. I love the finish of it. I love how it wears under makeup, so a really quick shout out about that. All right, I have 3 primers that I discovered this year that I'm so obsessed with. Okay, we're gonna start with like the oldest one. It's this right here. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. That's what it's called. I don't know why I always think there's something more after that. This is so beautiful. It's basically a product that you can wear underneath foundation. You can also wear it mixed in with your foundation, and you can wear it alone as a highlighter. It just gives you the most beautiful lit from within glow. It also comes in shades, so it does have a little bit of a tint to it. So if you are just running out the door and you want a glowy kind of tinted finish to the skin, this is amazing just all over the face by itself. I love this. I'm wearing this all over the skin underneath my foundation today, and it's beautiful. This next product I cannot get enough of either. It's the Farsali Liquid Glass Radiant Serum. You do not need very much of this. A little bit goes a very long way, and I just love how it makes my skin look so glowy and radiant and lit from within, but it never looks oily, and it really does adhere my foundation on top of it. So it's such a beautiful serum kind of a product. I feel like it's a good skincare product as well. It is so beautiful, so I knew I had to mention that one. And then much more recently, I added this to my collection, but I can't get enough of it. And I've already made a pretty good dent. It's the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Primer. This is such an amazing texture if you have dry skin. This wears beautifully underneath all of my foundations, so I knew I had to mention it. I love the packaging, glass bottle with a pump. It's so good. I love how it smells. I know it's kind of a weird thing to say, but it just kind of smooths out the skin and hydrates it in a non-greasy way. There's kind of a theme with all of these products. I want to look dewy, I don't want to look greasy, and I want it to kind of balance my skin throughout the day, and so that's what all three of these primers have done for me. By the way, I use the shade Too Light in this one if you're wondering, so those are my favorite primers of the year. Okay, let's move into foundation. I have two foundations that are like my absolute top foundations of the year. They're the two that I wore on more of a daily basis, and then I have 4 more that I'm going to share with you. One of which is a little bit more recent to me, and then the other 3 I use on special occasions. So let's start with the more everyday ones. I think this takes the cake for me this year. This is the Wander Beauty Nude Illusion Foundation. I wear the shade Fair Light. This foundation never let me down this year. I wore it so many times. I wear it during the daytime as an everyday foundation, but I also wore it so many times for more glamorous occasions. This is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, liquid foundation for just like a long wearing base that can really transition me from day to night. This is definitely an incredible foundation. I feel like more people need to talk about it. The packaging is kind of interesting, but it is nice for travel. It's a plastic tube and then you get a doe foot applicator. So it's kind of nice for travel, like I said, because you don't have to worry about it breaking in your bag. But this is an incredible foundation, you guys. Definitely my favorite foundation of the year, I would say. This is a close second. This is the BareMinerals Complexion Rescue Hydrating Foundation Stick. I have mine in the shade Birch 1.5. This is another one of those amazing everyday products for me. This is definitely not one that I would use in like a more glamorous occasion, but it's so beautiful, super hydrating. I love to just put it all over the face and then blend it out. And I actually like to use my BareMinerals loose powder on top of this often, or I'll just set it with a normal powder, and I just love it. Like, it makes my skin look so pretty. I'm always super impressed by how it wears on my skin. My skin loves it. It also hydrates the skin. It's one of my favorite products ever. So those are like my top 2 high-end foundations for every day. And then here's the one that's a little bit more recent to me, but I've been loving it for the past couple of months, so I did want to mention it. It's the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation. It's just a good, like, basic foundation in the best way. You get really nice coverage with this, and it leaves a subtle glow, but again, not an oily, hydrated glow. It's just a nice lit from within, kind of healthy looking skin vibe with this. I love it. I wear the shade Salzburg Light 3.5. So I wanted to give that a quick shout out. These next 3 foundations are ones that I pack when I have an event. So definitely not foundations that I wear on a daily basis, but when I have something where I need my foundation to look amazing in photos or whatever it might be, or if it's a special occasion and I kind of want to indulge in something, I reach for one of these foundations usually. The first one is the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. I have the shade 1.30. I love the packaging on this. I love the formula of this. It's definitely a little bit more of a full coverage foundation, so a little bit goes a long way here, but this wears so beautifully on the skin. It's also very travel friendly, and I love the packaging on that. The next one is this right here. It's the Dior Airflash Foundation. Again, this is not something that I wear often. It's a very pricey foundation, but I love the way that it sits on my skin, so I wear this for special occasions or if I'm going out for the night. I also actually like to mix this in with other foundations. Like, I've mixed it in with the Wander Beauty one before for an event at night, and it looked beautiful, so I wanted to make sure to mention this as well. I wear the shade 201. This is a fabulous foundation for special occasions. And the last one I discovered this year, it launched this year actually, is this right here. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. This is such an incredible long wear foundation. I use the shade 3 Neutral. The tiniest bit goes the longest way. This is also one of my favorite ones to mix in if I'm doing my makeup for a special event, but it's also beautiful on its own. The packaging is stunning. I don't even think I use a full pump of this when I use it. Again, a little goes a very long way, but it's beautiful. It lasts for hours on my skin, and I can always trust it to look really good in photos and to wear all night long for special occasions. So I did want to share my more special occasion foundations with you because those are definitely a little bit more of a splurge compared to even the Wander Beauty Foundation or the BareMinerals, but they're definitely some of my favorites. So I love all of those. Let's talk about concealer. This is definitely a repeat product from last year, which really shows you what is amazing. This stood the test of time this year and also last year. It's my favorite concealer ever. Like, nothing has topped it yet. It's the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. I like to use 2 shades. I usually use the shade 1N under the eyes, and then I have 2N for blemishes, or if I have darker circles under my eyes, I will go ahead and kind of brighten things up with this first, since it's a little bit more of a peachy tone, and then I'll layer this on top of it. This is such a beautiful concealer, you guys. It is amazing. It does not crease on me. It's just the perfect consistency. I can't get enough of this, and it's an award winner for me for the 2nd year in a row. Love it. This next one is more of a rediscovery recently this year, but it's another one I've been absolutely loving. This is actually the concealer that I have on my face today. It's a classic. It's the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I wear mine in the shade Light to Vanilla. It just has the best texture. It's very hydrating, but it's not so hydrating to where it slides around on my face. I love this, especially during the drier months, so I wanted to mention that. And then I also equally loved the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Concealer. Now, the thing is, I don't really like the packaging on this. I can never get the lids off. And then once I do, there's like this sponge applicator, and it just kind of gets messy, but the formula is so good on this that I keep using it. This is definitely more of my special occasion kind of a concealer, not a daily concealer for me personally, but it works beautifully under the eyes and also over blemishes. So I did want to make sure to mention that because it's beautiful as well and it wears very well on me. All right, let's hop into powders. I have so many powders to share with you. My top powder of the year is actually one that I discovered because of Nikki Tutorial's Best of the Year last year. She talked about this and I immediately tried it out. I actually had it in my collection. It was sent to me earlier last year, and I finally tried it out at the end of the year, and I've been using it nonstop since. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Powder for under eye and face. I started off using the shade One Fair. It has a little bit more of a pinky undertone, but I just recently purchased the shade Two Fair to Medium, and this is more of like a translucent, more yellowy undertone. Honestly, I love both shades. Both of them work on my skin tone, but I love the finish that this gives all over the skin. You set the face and then it adds this radiance back into the skin. So a lot of times I like to use a translucent powder to set the entire face, and then I'll go in with a finishing powder. This is kind of 2-in-1. Like, you don't need to use a finishing powder usually after using this because it's so glowy, but it's beautiful. The formula is amazing. So I wanted to be sure to mention that one. Another one of my favorite powders of the year is the Lawless Seal the Deal Loose Setting Powder. This is definitely more of a like heavy duty kind of a powder. It kind of reminds me of the Laura Mercier translucent powder, but this brand is a clean beauty brand, so there's no extra fluff or, you know, bad ingredients in here. So I absolutely love this one as well. I got so much use out of it. The By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder is by far one of the most unique products I tried this year. It's a very, very thin, finely milled powder, and it actually has like hyaluronic acid in here. It works beautifully for underneath the eye area. It's so finely milled it like floats in the air. Honestly, it took a minute for me to figure out how to use this, but once I did, I really love it for when I have irritation or dryness around the eyes, or if I just want to feel like I don't have any powder sitting on the skin, I will use this under the eyes and all over the face, and it's beautiful. This next powder is actually a powder foundation, but I thought I would share it with you. It's the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Foundation. I should probably share this in the foundation section, but I love to use this to conceal blemishes after I've applied powder, so that's why I'm kind of talking about it here. So I'll show you. I have a little bit of a blemish right here. I just like to take it and just like press the powder on top and then kind of blend out the edges, and I feel like it just really helps to blur and conceal any extra blemishes that are showing through after I do my makeup. This is also amazing though all over the face if I'm running out the door and I want to have a powder foundation on. You just take the applicator and you just literally swipe it all over the face. I did a video with this earlier this year and it's incredible. It's such a unique formula. Definitely one of the coolest formulas that launched this year, so I wanted to make sure to mention that. I fell in love with this powder all year round. I can't remember if it was in last year's favorites or not. I honestly don't know. This is the Laura Mercier Candleglow Sheer Perfecting Powder. I have this all over the skin. It is so beautiful for when you need to kind of bring life back to the skin. I love the finish that this gives, and I just feel like my whole face looks glowy, but in the best way. Definitely a staple. You can see how much I've used this. I also discovered this powder right here, which I've been using a lot in the T-zone to kind of hydrate and blur. This is the Jouer Soft Focus Hydrate and Set Powder, and I use the shade Fair. Again, I love to take it and just kind of use this more in the T-zone to kind of blur everything like right here, because I get a little bit more of a larger pore and texture right here, and this just smooths everything out. I got a ton of use out of this one this year. It's beautiful. So I knew it was going to be in my yearly favorites. Definitely an award winner. This next powder is definitely one that I recently discovered, but I think it's something that you guys need to know about. It's from Clinique. It's the Uplighting Illuminating Powder. This is basically a finishing powder, but you can also use it as a highlighter if you build it up, which I love. So I've been putting it all over the face, and then I will take a more precise brush and just put it on the high points. And it's just the best like 2-in-1 product. Great for every day if you just want that lit from within glow. There's kind of a theme here with these kinds of products, but I wanted to mention it in my yearly favorites because it's just so unique and it really added to my collection. And every time I wear it, I'm like shocked at how beautiful my skin looks. All right, 2019 was definitely the year of the bronzers. In both drugstore and high-end categories, I have so many bronzers that I loved. I'm gonna start off with cream bronzer. This is by far my favorite cream bronzer of the year. It's the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer in the shade Baked. It's very well loved. I probably need to get a new one. It's almost out. I love this so much. I'm actually wearing it underneath my other bronzer today. It's just so good. It's so beautiful. It smells like Play-Doh, which is kind of interesting, but I love it. I also discovered this one this year, the Huda Beauty Tantour, which is like a contour and bronzer cream. This is awesome. The formula is beautiful and it blends out so nicely on the skin. This one I like to use when I have a little bit more of a self-tanner on because even though it's the lightest shade, it is a little bit deep on me. But regardless, it's a beautiful formula. It like blends out so nicely by itself. So these are definitely my top two cream products. I got really into lighter colored bronzers this year because I usually have a pretty heavy hand when it comes to bronzer. I got so much use out of the Benefit Hoola Light Bronzer. This is a very light tone and it works perfectly for me because, again, I have a heavy hand when it comes to bronzers, and so this one's just foolproof for me. So you'll notice similarities in all of these bronzers. I definitely don't feel like you need all of them. I happened to try them all throughout the year and I wanted to mention all of them just in case, you know, you like a brand more than another one or whatever. Another bronzer I loved this year was the Pure Cosmetics Bronzing Act. Again, you can see this one has a little bit more of a marbling, but it's definitely mostly that lighter tone. This one smells good too. It smells like chocolate. I also got so much use out of the Fenty Beauty Sun Stalk'r Bronzer in the shade Into Sun. This is, again, a light tone bronzer. Definitely so good if you have a heavy hand like me. This one right here is a little bit more of a warm tone bronzer, but I am obsessed with it. I discovered this thanks to you guys this year. I tried this out when I tried your Holy Grail products, and it's the Ciate London Palm Island Bronzer. So this one definitely has a little bit more of a warm tone, but it does not come across as orangey on me. It just is the perfect amount of warmth. So I definitely wanted to mention that as well because I got so much use out of that too. Bronzers for days. I hope I'm not forgetting any products. Forgive me if I am. I really tried to go through all of my drawers and all of my videos even to try to remember every single product that I loved throughout the entire year. Okay, I'm going to quickly hop over to another category, which is face palettes. Oh my gosh, this just wins so many awards in my book. This is limited edition, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but every year Hourglass launches an ambient lighting palette, and this is their Ghost Edit. Here's what it looks like in the inside. This recently launched, but I've gotten so much use out of it, and I use every single shade in here, so I wanted to mention it. Even though it is limited edition, if you can get your hands on it, I definitely would recommend getting your hands on it. It's so good. I wish they would make this a permanent item because I don't want to run out of it. It is that incredible. All right, let's move on to blush. These blushes are incredible. They're so travel friendly. I love every single shade in these palettes. They're from Alamar Cosmetics, and I initially purchased this one right here. It's the Colorete Blush Trio, and this is the light one. The light one looks like this on the inside. Aren't these so beautiful? I definitely got the most use out of Paraíso right here. But I got so much use out of the Fair Light palette that I picked up the Medium 10 palette shortly after that. And I love these too. Like this shade right here, Seclusion, is so good. I definitely love both of these shades as well. But these blush palettes, oh my gosh, the formula is beautiful. And I love that you get 3 colors in each palette because, again, it just kind of like consolidates everything. And when you're traveling or if you're a makeup artist, it's really good to have options and they're great to mix. I feel like with these 2 palettes, I have all the blush colors that I could ever dream of. It's just the greatest. I love these palettes so much. This next one is definitely more of a recent discovery, but it's coming in my yearly favorites because I use it pretty much daily. This is the Patrick Ta blush in the shade She's Seductive. It definitely looks intimidating in the pan, like it looks like it's going to be deep, but it's not. It's actually beautiful and you can build it up to be pretty deep if you want to. It's the blush that I'm wearing on my cheeks right now actually, and I love it. The packaging is stunning. I travel with it everywhere. I've been traveling with it everywhere and it's just amazing. It's a great like neutral go-to blush. I feel like I can use this on an everyday basis, but I can also use it when I have something bold on the eyes and it's not gonna overpower everything, but it's gonna add that life back to the skin. All right, let's move on to highlighter. This is definitely something I loved so much this year. It's the Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette. This is the first edition. I know they made another version of this. I have not yet tried that one. I probably should because I love this so much. I especially love these two shades. I love this shade as a blush topper, and I've used this one as an eyeshadow actually, but this is something that I heard about for a long time, and I honestly felt like it was a little bit overhyped, but then I bought it and I used it, and it is definitely worth the money in my opinion. I get use out of all 4 shades, but again, definitely mostly these two. You can build them up to make an extremely blinding highlight, or you can just do a more subtle wash of color on the cheeks and you're gonna get a nice natural looking highlighter. So beautiful. There's like no glitter in here, which is nice. I love it. The next highlighter that I just fell in love with, and again, this is kind of more recent too. This is the Hourglass Champagne Flash Highlighter Stick. So beautiful. It's such an amazing cream highlighter. This makes my face look super plump. That's like the best way I can explain it. It like smooths over everything, and when I turn my face, I'm not wearing it today, I should have so I could show you, but it just makes your face look so juicy and hydrated, and it doesn't emphasize texture in any way. It is just so good. My next favorite highlighter product I am actually wearing on the skin. It's like the dewy thing that you see. It's like a balm basically, and it is one of my favorite things that I discovered this year by far. It's the Ciate Dewy Sticks, and this is in the shade Glow. It's basically just a balm, but it is so good, you guys. Like, I love to layer this over top of my favorite powder highlighters. So I have another powder highlighter on my face right now. It's the Honest Beauty highlighter, which I talked about in my drugstore video. And then I just took my sponge with this and I applied it on the high points, and it gives you a glossy look. You can wear this by itself and it's just gonna give you that dewy, glossy, wet finish on the skin, or you can layer it like I do to just intensify your powder highlighter. So this is an amazing product. I get so much use out of that. All right, we're moving on to eyes. We're cruising. This is gonna be like a movie length video, I feel. But there's just so much to talk about, you know? All right, for eyeshadow first, I'm gonna have to mention this. This is definitely a favorite discovery of the year for me. It's the NARS Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base, and I get the most use out of the shade Light. I do own the other colors, and I use them sometimes if I want a deeper base. If I'm gonna wear like more matte brown, dark eyeshadows, I will use like some of the deeper shades, but I definitely get the most use out of the shade Light. I'm wearing this all over my eyes. I use this basically every day before I do my eyeshadow. It's an incredible primer, and it cancels out any darkness on the eyes, and then it kind of dries down to a little bit of a powdery finish, but it's not so powdery to where it's drying. It's just the perfect consistency. You guys already know how much I love that. All right, let's talk about some favorite palettes. I'm gonna talk about a limited edition one first, just for a second, because again, you know, if you're watching this later than when I post it, it might not be available anymore, but I really wanted to tell you guys about it because I get a lot of use out of it. I love Natasha Denona, and this year she launched the Metropolis palette, and I just love it. I get so much use out of this palette. Here's what it looks like on the inside. Literally, you can make any kind of look with this. You have any color imaginable. There's so many different finishes and formulas. So yeah, I love this. I've been traveling with it. I love all the neutrals in here. You can do a warm tone look. I love these fun greens and these like bright golds. You can also do a really cool blue look with some of these. There's reds. Like it's just such a good all-around palette. So I definitely wanted to mention that in today's video, and it is limited edition. So if it's not available in a couple of months, I'm sorry, but I had to mention it. The next palette that I fell head over heels for this year is this one right here. It's the Jackie Aina Anastasia palette. You guys, oh, this is one of the most incredible palettes that I've ever used. I love all of the tones in here. This is what I'm mostly wearing on the eyes. I'm wearing the shade Dwalas and then Ginger and a little bit of Credit kind of on the outer portions of the eye, and I'm actually wearing 2 other palettes as the glitter on the eyes, which I'll share with you in a second. This is so stunning. I love this palette. Jackie did an amazing job with this. I just am so inspired by this, and I've gotten so much use out of it, and I love the purple looks I'm able to create with it, as well as these more grungy, warm tone kind of a look. And then I also love like these golds. I'm just obsessed. It's one of the best palettes I've ever tried. Interestingly enough, this palette looks kind of similar to the Jackie Aina palette, but it's also a favorite of mine. This is definitely my most expensive palette. I invested in it this year and I love it. It's the Pat McGrath Mothership 5 palette. So I believe this is called like Bronze Seduction. Here's what it looks like in the inside. You'll notice some similarities to just like the overall color story in both of these palettes. You can see some similar purples and the red shimmery shade, but the finishes are not the same, which is why I'm going to mention both of them because I genuinely love both. This is what I'm wearing all over the eyes. It is the most beautiful, like yellowy gold. It looks white in the pan, but it's basically a bunch of yellow gold glitter, and I'm wearing that all over the lid. I also put a couple of these on the outer corner as well, and a little bit of the purple shade along the lash line. This is an amazing palette. I love it. It's so beautiful and luxurious, and it feels so weighted and heavy. Definitely an investment, okay? But I love it, and I'm a makeup addict. I love makeup. So if you're someone like me and you just can't get enough of makeup and you're obsessed with the texture and formula, just eyeshadows or any kind of makeup, you might want this because it's so good. So definitely love that one as well. This is a more recent palette to my collection, but you guys, like, I have already used it more than so many of the eyeshadow palettes that I tried this year. And it's the Tarte Beauty Texture Neutrals Volume 1 palette. I do have a little bit of the Soothe glitter shade on my eyelid. I just tapped it to kind of add a little extra sparkle to the eyes today. But that's all I'm wearing from this palette today. You can see how much I love it. I've already hit pan on this glitter shade, you guys. Can you believe that? It's such a stunning palette. I definitely love it mostly for the pressed glitters, but all of the shadows work really beautifully in here, and I can't believe how much use I've gotten out of this. Like, it already looks like I've owned it all year, and it's just been a couple of months, and I use it like every day. I love it so much, so I wanted to make sure to mention that one. This is another palette that captured my heart this year, and it is a little bit more recent as well, but I don't know, these palettes just like really stole my whole heart this year. This is the Huda Beauty Nude Light palette, and like, hello, this is basically me in a tiny palette, okay? I love this palette so much. It's just the best for those more ethereal looks that I like to go for. There's not much else to say about it besides it's amazing. The packaging is cute, it's travel friendly. It's been a really great go-to kind of everyday palette for me as well. I also wanted to repeat mention a product that I just loved all throughout the year again, and it's the Bodyography Glitter Pigments. I believe I mentioned the shade Sparkler last year, but I also got a ton of use out of the shade Halo, which is more of a silvery color. So Halo is this one. This is amazing because you just dip your finger in it and you just kind of press it on the lid and it will amp up any look. Sparkler definitely is my favorite. If you haven't tried it yet, I would definitely start with Sparkler. It is such a beautiful goldish kind of pink color. And then Hourglass launched their Scattered Light Glitter eyeshadows, and I love these too. They're basically the same idea as the Bodyography ones. In fact, the packaging is like almost identical, which is kind of crazy. But two shades that I love the most are Reflect, which kind of has a little bit more of that pink in it. And then there's also Ray, which is such a gorgeous, deeper kind of bronzy pink. I love both of those shades so much. So I wanted to talk about those as well. If you're somebody who likes pizzazz and sparkle on the eyes, that's a great item to pick up because you can just incorporate it into your normal routine, or you can pair it with any eyeshadow palette that you have. So for eyeliners, I have two eyeliners to share with you, which is kind of crazy because I don't really wear eyeliner that much, but I got so much use out of both of these. The first one is this one right here from Thrive Causemetics. It's the Infinity Waterproof Eyeliner, and this is in the shade Lizzie. I actually have this in my waterline right now. It is an olive green color, and it is such a beautiful color. Well, more like a mossy green. I've never found an eyeliner quite like this one before. It stays in my waterline all day, first of all, but it's just perfect for when you want a little bit of definition in the eyes, but you don't want to use a black or a brown. Gosh, this is such a good eyeliner, and the color is amazing. Like, I love that one so much. And then you guys actually put me on to this. This is another product that I tried from trying out your favorite products in one of my videos, and it's the Marc Jacobs, what is this called? Highliner Matte Gel Eye Crayon, and this is specifically in the shade Earthquake. It's just the best like brown eyeliner. I love it. I'm wearing this on the top lash line today, and it just adds the perfect amount of definition without being too harsh of a color around the eyes. It's so good, and it lasts all day long too, so I'm so glad that you guys told me about that this year. I've got 4 mascaras that I'm going to share with you guys, one of which is a repeat, I believe, and that is the Thrive Causemetics Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. This is such an amazing one. Oh my gosh. It's a tubing mascara. It's such a unique formula. It definitely takes some practice to get used to, but once you do, like, there's nothing else like it. I cannot live without this. Like, I have to travel with this. There are just certain occasions and certain looks that I need my Thrive Causemetics mascara for, you know? So I wanted to kind of repeat mention that because I think I did put it in my yearly favorites last year. The Nabla Major Pleasure Mascara was a huge winner in my book this year as far as my awards go. Here's what the applicator looks like. This gives you false lashes. It makes you look like you're wearing false lashes. It builds up so beautifully. I can build this thing up and it just looks incredible. It looks insane when I put like 3 coats on of this. You don't have to build it up to be that much, but it's an amazing mascara that I've loved all year long. The Hourglass Caution Mascara is still another favorite of mine. I can't remember if this was out last year and if I talked about it, I don't remember. But again, I look for massive volume in my mascaras and this gives it to me. I love this for special occasions when I want that false lash effect. These two are like my go-tos for that. And then I also really enjoyed the Wander Beauty Mile High Club mascara. This is more of a natural looking mascara. If you're not somebody who likes super huge, massive, false looking lashes like I do, you just want some definition and some volume and some length, like a little bit. This is a great one for every day. This one doesn't smudge or flake on me at all, so I love that for that. So I love this one too. Definitely gives you more of a wispy lash effect, which I like. So I wanted to share that one. All right, folks, we are on the home stretch right now. We've got some lip products. I've got a lot of lip products and then some setting sprays, and then we're done. So I have to share with you my favorite lip liners. KKW Beauty wins again in my book. I think that she makes some of the best lip liners I have ever tried. The shades are incredible. It just like takes out all the guesswork for you with her lip liners, and then you pair the lipsticks together. It's just like my favorite. I love these so much. Okay, I got so much use out of the Nude 1 again. This is the shade Nude 1. I think I mentioned this in my last year's favorites. I don't remember, but it's an incredible color. I actually just kind of like recently started reusing this towards the end of the year, and it's beautiful. I feel like I definitely got the most use out of the shade Nude 0.5. These launched this year, and she expanded her nude lip liner shade range this year, and Nude 0.5 came into the mix, and I will never go back. This is what I'm wearing all over the lips. I lined and filled in my lips with this. It's just the perfect everyday pink color. And then we have the KKW Beauty 90s Supermodel lip liner, which launched with her Mattes collection. This is also a little bit of a pinky undertone, but it's just so good. I haven't swatched anything this whole time because I just didn't want the video to be 3 hours long, but I'm going to. So here's 90s Supermodel. I'm gonna swatch Nude 0.5 next, which is this one right here. And then, last but not least, I will show you Nude 1. They just like cover all of my nude lip liner needs. So here's Nude 1, Nude 0.5, and then we have 90 Supermodel. They're perfect. I love them. They're so good. Then I also got so much use out of the MAC Subculture Lip Liner this year, which I'll go ahead and swatch next to everything so you can see. The MAC lip liners definitely have more of a dry texture compared to the KKW Beauty ones, but here's that one right there. So these are definitely my top 4 lip liners. I got so much use out of all 4 of them this year. They're incredible. If you haven't tried them, you must, especially the KKW Beauty ones, which they're in Ulta now. Like, they have a stand, and it's so fun to see, like, my favorite lip liners, so you should definitely swatch them and try them if you have not. Okay, let's talk about some lipsticks. First of all, like I was mentioning before, I love that you can pair the lipsticks with the lip liners when it comes to KKW Beauty. So this is actually the 90s Supermodel lipstick. It kind of takes out the guesswork for you. This is definitely a lighter shade than the lip liner, so you get a nice plump looking pout with it. With this matte formula, I will say you do have to use a little bit of lip balm before you apply this, otherwise it's a little too drying in my opinion, but I love that shade, so I wanted to mention it. This is definitely one of my favorite lipstick formulas that launched this year. It's the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude lipsticks. I have 4 shades that I want to show you. The whole range is beautiful, but I'll swatch Liron, which is more of a beige. This next one is called Avril, which is like a light pinky beige. Right there. This is beautiful. This is one of my favorites. I mean, these 4 are like my favorites, but anyway. We have Allison, which is much more of a rosy pink, but it's got that slight purple undertone, which I love. And then we have Beatrice, which I think is the one that I got the most use out of, I would say. Out of all of these colors, it's just perfect. Like, look at that. It's just perfect. All 4 of these are incredible. The formula is beautiful. The packaging is beautiful. These are definitely one of the best lipsticks I've ever tried. And they happened to launch this year, so I had to share them with you. I also discovered a new favorite nude lip combo, and it's from Clinique. It's these 2 products right here. The first one is the Even Better Lip Color Foundation in the shade 04 Subtle, and then I pop the Clinique Pop Splash Lip Gloss in the shade Caramel Pop on top of it. These basically live in my purse. They're my favorite. They wear off so beautifully on my lips, and it's just the best like everyday nude lip combo in my opinion. So I love those. Oh yes, these. Haha. Patrick Ta, my friend. Look how like beat up these are now. The Patrick Ta lip glosses are absolutely insanely amazing. I love all 3 shades, but if I had to choose one, it would be this one. This is called She's an Influencer, and it's just the best. Like, I love these glosses so much. I love the finish of them. I love the texture. I love the formula. These are a must-have. Oh, as she drops them. Okay. I also fell head over heels for these right here from NARS. These are the oil-infused lip tints. I can't tell you how many times I had to pull these out of my purse. These are another Purse Living lip product. They're so easy to just reach for and just put all over the lips whenever you're running out the door. I also love to wear these on travel days. When I'm at the airport, I just pull it out and I don't even have to look in a mirror, and it tints the lips beautifully. It hydrates my lips. I love how these look. They're such a good formula. You have to try these. My two favorites are probably these two right here, but I love all 4 shades. I also got so much use out of this Persona lip gloss. This is in the shade Pink, and it's just the best. Like, it's just such a good go-to pink lip gloss, and it paired so well with so many looks this year. I especially love this in the spring and summer, and I definitely can't wait to keep wearing it next spring and summer because I feel like I'm going to. It's obviously something you could wear all year round, but it's such a perfect pink gloss color. The formula is beautiful on this too. It's never gloopy. It feels super hydrating. I also loved this so much. This is the Tarte Fresh Press Lip Gloss. This is the gloss that I'm wearing all over the lips right now. This is another one that lives in my purse, you guys, because it's just one of those things that hydrates the lips, makes my lips feel so fabulous. It tastes really good. Not that I eat it, but like, you know, it just has like a really fun smell to it. It's just a really cute bottle. It's easy for me to find in my purse because of the packaging. The last lip products that I have to share are these right here. I love these. Oh my gosh. Best $15 I've ever spent. Well, I guess it was 30 because I bought 2, but it's the Laneige Lip Glowy Balm. They have more colors of these and I need to buy them, but I definitely would say Grapefruit is my favorite. It has a slight pink tint to it and it's beautiful. And then I do love the Pear one equally, but this one's more of a clear, sheer kind of a balm. It leaves like a glossy finish to the lips, but it feels like a lip balm. Oh, these both live in my purse as well. These are basically all the products that like I had to pull out of my purses to show with you guys, and that just shows you how much I love them. So those are all my lip favorites, I'm pretty sure. Hopefully I wasn't forgetting anything. Let's talk about setting sprays. I have 2 that I love. This one I discovered this year, and I need to buy a new one soon. It's the Farsali Rose Gold Skin Mist. This is such an amazing mist for when you want that dewy, gorgeous finish, but it's not gonna leave you looking oily. It made my skin look so good. I also learned to really love using this underneath makeup or like in the middle of my makeup routine. It's so good, you guys. This is an amazing setting spray. It really just solves all my skin problems and it made my skin look so good all year long, so I had to share that. And then this, I don't think I discovered this, obviously, this year, but I definitely grew to love it so much this year. It's the MAC Fix Plus setting spray, a classic. I'm sure you guys are like, whoa, that's ancient, because it is. It's been around for a long time, but I had only heard about it for years, and then I finally like really tried it out this year, and it's my go-to. Like, this solves a lot of problems too. Like, these 2 setting sprays, they will smooth out your skin. They will make it look so beautiful. I love both those sprays so much. Obviously, my Urban Decay All Nighter is still at the very, very tip top. I already talked about that last year, and like I talked about it all the time, so I wanted to kind of bring some new ones to the table. Oh my gosh, that's it, you guys. I can't believe that I made it through this video. If you're still here, thank you so much. You should win a prize. But I hope you guys enjoyed hearing what my favorite high-end products were from the year. I would love for you to comment your favorite high-end product down below in the comments. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. I know that was so much information. I will try to have everything broken down and listed and linked down below to make it easier for you guys if you're looking for something specific to add to your collection. I stand behind all of these. These are all award winners in my book. They all won an Allie Award. Let me know if you guys have similar favorites or if you loved any of these as much as I did this year. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are. Stay tuned for my hair, skin, and nails version of this video coming very soon, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!